Greetings everyone, Jonathan, and today I'm back with the post-divorce existence, a new video. Today I wanted to kind of talk about a few things. One is the idea that now that you find yourself divorced, what next? You know, you have a lot of people out there who are on the sidelines telling, oh, hey, it's time to meet somebody, time to get out there and you know, date and do all these kind of things. And to that I say, no. Basically it's not that simple. It's not like, hey, just get back on the saddle and everything's gonna fall into place. I don't agree with that at all. Maybe that works for some people. It's certainly not my philosophy, because here I am dealing with a deluge of emotions that have flooded forward, after this, the breakup of my marriage. And I'm trying to put things into place, trying to deal with things while I have the chance to deal with them. And the last thing I needed at this point was to get back into the dating scene or to try and find myself a relationship. I think relationships can be obviously good, but if you're not doing the underlying work on trying to figure out where things went wrong, not just simply by demonizing your ex, but simply but trying to work on things for yourself where you made mistakes and things that you could have done better, as well as warning signs of things that you didn't like, that you put up with, that you should probably have never put up with. And I think that is the reality here, is that some people just think that an easy solution, and I had an ex-girlfriend in college. I remember she had dumped a guy to be with me, and the rapidity with which she dumped that guy and then hooked up with me and then did the same thing to me to go on to somebody else was actually a warning sign that I was too naive, or I didn't want to focus on, because I thought, hey, this is great, I have this person's attention, I'm in love, and that's the way it was. But had I been an older person at that point, at least I was, more mature in my mind, I would have understood that there's something wrong there with leaving a relationship for another relationship immediately. It's okay, really? You need some time to think about things. You need time to get things in order. You say, hey, Jonathan, when am I going to know that it's the right time? I don't know. But I will say that you need to give yourself some time. And that means, one, working on yourself, talking to a therapist, talking with friends, writing things down, and trying to remember certain details of the relationship. Doesn't mean you're going to be mired in those details and that you're always going to just sit there and tick off boxes like, oh, the new person is like this. Oh, I'm not going to be interested in that person. It's kind of like having a template in your mind as to in kind of a roadmap of some of the major milestones of good things and bad things that took place in your previous relationship, taking stock, whatever you want to call it. And then trying to then say, what is important? What is important? For people, some people, they're desperate. They can't be alone. They don't know how to be alone. And that's understandable in one sense, that if you've been in relationships all your life, that's all you know, and therefore being alone is an incredibly scary thing. For me, being alone was not a scary thing. For me, being alone is just learning how to do everything on my own and not have someone to talk to or to consult with and or to help out in certain situations. So that was a learning curve that I had to face, but there are some people out there who are desperately scared of being alone, and that comes to the point in this period of life, mid to late 40s, where people are thinking about what comes next and where will I go from here and where's my career going and will I die alone, will I be alone the rest of my life? Because in this increasingly more kind of just basically very, very, very finely fractious kind of like dating scenes and all these different apps and whatnot that tend to try and want to try and make you believe that your knight in shining armor, or the beauty of your dreams is just waiting there, one swipe away, is ludicrous, because you're, in a sense, in no way ready for that. And why aren't you ready for that? Because if you haven't given the time to build up other parts of your life, then you will be of no service in the next relationship you find. And what do you mean by building up parts? So for me, when I look at myself, I say, here I am. What are the things that I need to work on? One, I need to work on my own issues in the previous relationship that I had. Putting up with something, it's kind of like what a friend said, tolerance, talked about religious tolerance. He said, I tolerate you doesn't mean I like you. And it's like, we tolerate a lot in our marriages, and we tolerate without talking about these things, because maybe we're scared to bring it up. Maybe we're scared to confront what happens, if there's an argument over it, all that kind of stuff. There's a whole litany of issues that may surround certain problems. But ignoring problems is probably the worst thing you can do. And I guess I'm guilty of that, and other people are guilty of that as well, who end up in a situation of divorce. You didn't see the warning signs. I met somebody the other day who told me that they went on a trip with their ex, and they actually knew that they were going to leave this person even though they went on the trip with that person. And I thought to myself, wow, that's interesting. So some people have already planned their exit many, 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 steps ahead, to kind of they already see it down the road that they're no longer going to be with you or whoever, and that's it. And then there really is kind of, in a sense, no turning back. Interesting. So what are some of the things that you can work on? Well, besides the whole talking to somebody is a great thing, and I really believe that. But beyond that is trying to figure out your own career, because for me, I left a full-time job in China, and then I went on to do freelance work. The freelance work then basically has been a bridge, but here I am trying to figure out what comes next. Now you say to yourself, would it be wise at this juncture to find somebody to be my girlfriend or whatnot? I don't think so. And I don't think so because for me, until I get to a stable existence where I'm doing something that I resonate with, then I feel like I'm not going to be of any use or value in a relationship, because, I'm living in New York, and yes, people are very vain here and very materialistic, in the sense that, if the guy is not settled in his career, he's just trying to find himself. Do you really want to be with somebody like that? I don't think about New York people as the people that I kind of associate with or would want to meet, in the sense that sometimes I feel like they're way too judgmental, or at least some of the people that I have understood out there, what they look for, what they talk about on these websites. New Yorkers are very focused on this, they're very career oriented, all that kind of stuff. I want to shove all that bullshit aside and just say to myself, okay, I know personally it's not because of the material aspects of it, but it's because once I find meaningful work that I can resonate with, I know that then I will be drawing upon an internal energy that I will then be able to apply to my relationship with whoever that may be. And I think that is a critical thing that you need to understand. You are trying to build yourself into a much more stable situation. You've just had a divorce. Things have kind of been obliterated like a hurricane hitting the coast. you know, it leaves a path of destruction. And that is very much what you're left with. You've awakened the new morning and you see that everything is a shambles. And so you pick little pieces of things from your previous relationship and from your past, and you pack it up into your little like box, you put it in your trunk, and you drive off, and you hope to find something new and to be able to put something back together. So, and that's a step-by-step process. That's all I'm saying. And so I think that, you know, especially for guys out there, because there's a lot of heavy expectations about guys, you know, being, you know, the breadwinner and all that kind of stuff. I don't subscribe to that, but I mean, there's a societal, like, kind of a focus on that, that instead of focusing on, like I said, the material, it's about exuding a confidence that comes from having that part of your existence squared away. And so for me, until I can square away that part of life, I will not be looking for any kind of relationship in that sense, like to try and pursue something. And I don't think I'm even ready in terms of, I can be friends with people, but I don't think I'm even ready for that at this moment, even if it were to present itself, you know. So that is what I wanted to say to people out there, that work on yourself. Use this opportunity that has been given you to take the time to think, to focus on, to tone out all the kind of chatter out there that people, your friends, will say to you, like, oh, you need to find somebody, you need to meet somebody, let me introduce you to somebody, all that kind of stuff. No. They don't understand that when you tear yourself down, and when things are torn down for you, you know, as a divorce does, it obliterates everything. That whatever exists, that remaining bits and pieces that you can cherry pick from the rubbish, from the destruction, the bits and pieces, the remnants of that previous existence, you need to take those things, you need to understand what those things mean, and then you need to put them into a new context. And so contextualizing your new life will then give you the platform to then build, so then you can eventually find that person who means, you know, who you want to spend time with and have a relationship with, and maybe build a future life with. But so that's it for today. Just some thoughts that came into my mind today, and I hope all of you are well. And if you want to leave me any comments down below, please subscribe. You know, I will be posting more videos as the ideas come to me about this post-divorce existence. But until next time, take care, everybody. I'll talk to you soon.